kids, I hope you all are fine. Today we are going to start chapter. So read and enjoy.
Chapter 11 Chandragupta Maurya. Read and enjoy. Chandragupta Maurya, the founder and the first ruler of the Maurya dynasty, is credited with establishing the first empire in India that crossed the boundary of modern days India up to Afghanistan, etc. He established the vast empire with the help of his teacher and mentor Chanakya or Kautilya. The details of the functioning, culture, military and economy of his empire are well preserved in Kautilya's Arthashastra. The Mauryan dynasty was established by Chandragupta Maurya in 322 BC. He defeated the last Nanda ruler with the help of Kautilya's and established the Mauryan empire. Chandragupta, Bindusara and Ashoka, who glorified the Mauryan empire, was followed by the other Mauryan kings. They were able to control entire North India, including the Gangatic Valley, thus achieving the great political and geographical unity. Earlier, there was a republican, an oligarchical form of government, and Mauryans replaced it with a monarchy. They established their capital at Patliputra, also known as Patna, which is in the current days Bihar. Chandragupta Maurya, as per our record, was born in 340 BC in Patliputra. Many sides of his early life is not known. The social origin of Chandragupta, especially his caste, is disputed. According to some sources, he is identified as a member of the Kshatriyas Maurya clan ruling Pipali Vahana on the present-day Indo-Nepal border. Some sources describes him as a peacock tamer, and as per some other source, he is said to be the son of a woman named Mura. His family is also told to be closely related to the Nandas. Some historians say that he seems to have come from a common family and was not a prince but rather a commoner. He had no direct claim to the throne of Mugdha. Other historians say that he was a member of the Maurya or Maurya tribe which had fallen on hard times by the 4th century BC. They say that Chandragupta grew among peacock tamers, herdsmen and hunters. Even though he came from a modest family, Chandragupta didn't believe his upbringing had anything to do with his political ambitions. There is a story about Chandragupta Maurya as how he came in contact with Chanakya, his teacher and mentor. Chandragupta was an able and fearful, honest and brave child. He was very disciplined. He had lost his father when he was a child, so his mother was bringing him up. All the loads of the family was on his mother, Mura, only. He had many friends with whom he played and learned many things. One day, Chandragupta was playing thief game with his friends. In this game, he was the king. The other child who played the role of the thief was brought before Chandragupta, king, by his other friends who acted as his soldiers. A big stone was there, which children used as a king's throne. Chandragupta was sitting on it, and the thief caught by the soldiers is brought before the king. A Brahmin passing by the side stood there and watched the play. Chandragupta first heard everything from his soldiers, then he asked the thief to give his statement. He listened to the thief very patiently. Then Chandragupta gave his decision in a very honest way, like a able king. His decisions impressed the Brahmin very much. He came to the children and said, "Chandragupta, my child, what is your name? Can you take me to your parents?" Chandragupta said, "Sir, my name is Chandragupta. My father is no more. Will you like to meet my mother? She is at home." "But why do you want to meet my parent?" The Brahmin said, "Child, I am Chanakya. Do not afraid of me. I am a teacher. I will tell my thinking to your parent only. You are so small now." Chandragupta brought Chanakya to his home. He said, "This is my home. My mother is inside. Please stay here for some time. I'm going inside to ask for my mother's permission. Chanakya said, Okay my child, I am here only. Chandragupta went inside and came outside. He said, Sir, my mother says that you are a famous teacher of this kingdom. Chanakya, she says that she is ready to talk. Chanakya said, It is my pleasure. I only want to say, madam, that your son has good qualities. When he grows, he will become able to serve the people of this kingdom and solve their problems as well. I want to teach him and give him training so that he becomes fit to do his responsibility successfully. Mother said, This is a great news for me. I allow my child to get education and training under you so that he becomes a great server of people. I am making my son ready to go with you. Chandragupta came outside with his clothes in bag and accompanied Chanakya to the unknown journey. Chandragupta got all types of training under his able mentor, Chanakya. He became a good warrior, an able leader. He threw the last ruler of Nanda dynasty out of the throne over Nandas without any hard fight for the throne. Later, Chandragupta Maurya was married to Durdhara. Chandragupta Maurya had one son, Bindusara. Ashoka, Shushima with Ashoka were the grandchildren of Chandragupta Maurya. Later, his grandson Ashoka the Great went on to become one of India's greatest emperors. Magad under Chandragupta Maurya and his successors was the only territorial force that was capable of preserving orders in the midst of turmoil. It had a military position that was practically unrivaled, which was critical for the survival of the kind of empire that Kautilya desired. Kautilya chose the war by other means like strategy after realizing that a confrontation with Magad ruler would necessitate far more than a powerful army. He used a variety of intrigues, counter-intrigues, plotting and counter-plotting to undermine Dhananda's position by removing his main allies, loyalists and supporters, most notably his chief minister, Rakshasa. Chandragupta was able to hold the throne at Patliputra by using both military and non-military means. Dhananda was either killed or he fled. Chandragupta focused his efforts on expanding his empire. The Mauryan armies travelled as far as the western coast of India and southern India, especially present-day Karnataka. The Mauryan Empire at this time comprised not only the present-day states of Bihar and Orissa, but also western and northwestern India as well as the Deccan in the northwest, and they ruled over areas that were not even part of the British Empire. The empire did not extend to the extreme south and northeast of India. The Mauryan administration was a centralized administration to the possible extent. There were departmental heads for the military, spy system, judiciary, revenue, etc. But all of these departments were headed by the king in general. His decision was final and limited. The king considered his subjects as children rather than people. He was subjected to look after their needs and protect them from any types of attacks and threats. The Mauryan Empire had a massive army. The state recruited, prepared and equipped troops, Molla, about 6 lakh infantry and 30,000 cavalries and 9,000 elephants belonged to Chandragupta. The number of chariots were estimated to be about 8,000. Chandragupta is said to have adopted Jainism in his later years, according to both historical evidence and common opinions. Inscriptions from the 5th to 15th century CE in Karnataka mention Chandragupta in relation to the Jain saint Bhadrabahu. Chandragupta most likely abdicated, became an ascetic, followed Bhadrabahu to Karnataka and later died by fasting until death, a practice known as Salekha in Shravana Belagula. Chandragupta Maurya ruled the Mauryan Empire for 24 years. He was succeeded by his son Bindusara and later by Ashoka the Great.